I'm going to tell this the way it happened, because that's the only way it still makes sense to me, even if I wish it didn't. I moved into the duplex in late October. One of those narrow two-story places built in the 70s, beige siding, thin walls, the kind of place where you hear your neighbor's cabinets close, but you don't really know them. It was cheap, close to work, and quiet. That mattered to me. That the first few weeks were uneventful. I worked nights at a distribution warehouse, got home around 3 a.m., made something quick to eat, then slept through the morning. My routine was boring, predictable, safe. The first thing I noticed was the smell. It wasn't constant. Just sometimes, when I came home late, there'd be a faint, stale odor in the living room, like old clothes left in a damp basement. I assumed it was the carpet. The place had been empty for months. I opened windows, bought cleaner, forgot about it. Then there were the sounds. I'd be half asleep in the afternoons when I'd hear a dull creak upstairs. Not footsteps, just pressure, like someone shifting weight and stopping. The house settled a lot, and I told myself that's all it was still. I started locking my bedroom door during the day. Not because I was scared. I just felt better that way. A week later I noticed the bathroom mirror had fingerprints on the lower corner. Smudged, oily, too low to be mine. I wiped them off without thinking much about it that night. I came home and found the hallway light on. I stood in the doorway for a long second, staring at it. I knew I'd turned it off. I always did. I hate wasting electricity. I chalked it up to habit confusion. Long shifts mess with your head. Break time equals 1.0s. The real unease didn't come all at once. It crept in slowly, quietly. Food started disappearing. Not whole items, just portions, bread slices, a spoonful of peanut butter. At first, I blamed myself for eating on autopilot. I even laughed about it, but then one morning I found my work boots moved. I leave them by the door, always that morning. They were pushed neatly against the wall, toes aligned. I stood there, still half asleep, feeling something tighten in my chest. That wasn't something I'd do without remembering. I checked the locks. Front door was fine, windows intact, no signs of a break-in. I told myself to stop being dramatic. The smell came back stronger after that. It lingered in the stairwell, warm, human. I bought a cheap camera and set it up in the living room. Nothing fancy, just something to ease my mind. For 3 nights, it recorded nothing. No movement, no sound. On the 4th night, the camera stopped recording at 2:17 a.m. The file just ended. I didn't sleep much after that. Sighs. The confirmation came by accident. I got sent home early one night due to a power issue at the warehouse. I didn't text anyone. I didn't make noise when I came in. The house was dark, too dark that as I stepped inside, I heard breathing. Not loud, not rushed, just slow, controlled breaths coming from upstairs. I stood there, frozen, listening. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure it would give me away. Then I heard something else. A floorboard creak right above me. Exhales. I backed out of the house as quietly as I could and sat in my car, hands shaking, watching the windows. I stayed there until sunrise. When I finally went back inside, everything looked normal. No lights on, no sounds, but the smell was overwhelming now. I called the landlord and told him I thought there was an animal in the walls. He came by that afternoon, annoyed, tired. We checked the attic access together. That when he pulled the hatch down, something fell out. A folded blanket, dirty, stained, warm. The attic wasn't empty. There was a narrow space behind the insulation where someone had cleared out a section. Food wrappers, empty water bottles, a phone charger plugged into a hidden extension cord. A notebook. Most of the pages were blank, but one page had dates, times, notes. 3:12 a.m. Asleep, leaves for work, boots by door, camera installed, avoid living room. I felt sick reading it. The police found him 2 days later at another duplex 3 blocks away. He'd been living in crawl spaces, attics, anywhere he could access quietly, watching, learning, routines. They told me he'd been in my attic for almost a month. What still keeps me awake isn't that he was there, it's that he knew my schedule better than I did, and that the last note in the notebook said, almost caught, adjust timing, whispers he wasn't done. Which part disturbed you the most? Subscribe for more true horror stories.